If you're planning on buying any cards from TCG Player, make sure you use our affiliate link right here in the description of our video to help support the channel. It's the best way to do it and it's free. Looking for PTGO codes? Poton Store has all the latest sets and promos instantly delivered to your email. You can use Tablemon code when checking out for 5% off. Card Market is Europe's largest online marketplace for Pokemon cards. Whether you're looking for sealed product or singles, vintage or the latest sets, just follow the link in the description to find what you need. This video is sponsored by the Pokemon TCG deck building website PokemonCard.io. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video here at Tablemon. Thanks so much for tuning in. Now I've noticed that a lot of you enjoy these sort of videos. They've been pretty well received when I did them before, so I figured with Salt Lake City regionals upon us, I think it would be a good time to talk about the metagame, how it has evolved. Obviously this is directly leading or concluding from Peoria regionals, and we do have some really cool I guess developments in the metagame. Some things that I expected. If you've seen my previous videos, you'll see that there have been some shifts in the tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3. I decided not to include tier 4 as last time to really highlight tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 decks, because anything that's not on this list I feel like is probably not super playable at all. Now the tier 1 decks, I think we can all agree at this point, include these 4 decks: Palkia, straight Palkia, Kyurem VMAX, Giratina Lost Box decks, and the straight Lost Box deck featuring Sableye, Cramorant, and Radiant Charizard. So those 4 decks, if your deck can't beat at least 2 of those consistently, then you probably need to reconsider your deck choice, and that is how I guess you can define tier 2 and tier 3. I feel like in tier 2, Zoroark can definitely go toe-to-toe with Palkia, can definitely go toe-to-toe with Kyurem, also Giratina, and through some healing with Sharon Scare or Sneaky Sharon Scare, like sneakily fitting that into the list, you can definitely beat Lost Box decks if they don't have a very fast start either. So then we have Mew, which is now not tier 1, right? In my opinion, I think it's too easily countered by Drapion V, and that really puts a big dent. We saw Drapion V be included in even Mew V Max decks. That's how good a counter it is. So I definitely think like the deck is still powerful, and if people think like the metagame will shift away from Mew V Max and people drop their Drapion, and that's when Mew V Max will be at its most powerful. So we're gonna enter this sort of up and down cycle of Drapion popularity going up means Mew viability goes down, but then once Mew viability goes down, there's no reason for you to play Drapion, and that is when you start playing Mew VMAX again, right? So we enter into this loop, if you will. Then we have Goodra, which can do pretty well against Palkia by eliminating its bench, really struggles against Kyurem, can do pretty okay against Giratina, and does really well against Lost Box. Then we have Reggie, which does really well against everything, but also just trips over itself very easily. And then we have Blissey, which has been in a revival situation right now, where it's been dominating online. It'll be interesting to see if that translates to the Salt Lake City metagame directly, but I do think there's definitely potential there. And then we have the Colress, Mirage Gate, Lost Box decks. I put the Mirage Gate last time, it caused a lot of confusion, so that's why I put the Colress image instead. And this includes like all sort of Mirage Gate decks that you can think of that have different options, but they're not as straightforward as the Sableye deck. Then in tier 3 we have Duraludon, Dialga, Flying Pikachu, Arceus Inteleon, or Arceus Giratina if you will. Both of those I think are tier 3. Beakavolt and Shadow Rider Calyrex, which have had some showings, are popping here and there. They are part of the metagame, but they're not a significant one at that, and even though they have the possibility to succeed, they're very dependent on the matchups that they hit along the way, right? If you're playing Arceus Flying Pikachu and you hit Kyurems and Zoroarks and Giratinas, you're not going to have a good time, but if you hit Palkias and Reggies and Blissies and Sableye, Lost Box decks, then you're going to have a good time, right? So they're very matchup dependent, and I think that's what puts them in tier 3. And then here, like, I don't know. I'd definitely be happy and willing to listen to other opinions and suggestions on the tiers. I feel like at this point the metagame is pretty well figured out. I'd be really surprised if there was a deck that caught everyone off guard at Salt Lake City after the development of the online metagame, Peoria regionals, and then this. And yeah, I don't know. This feels very good. Like a very good breakdown of the metagame where you stand if you're playing a tier 1 deck. You know you have a chance at beating absolutely everything that is in tier 1 or below, right? If you're playing Palkia, your toughest matchup is Flying Pikachu, but outside of that, you're gonna have a good time or a decent time against everything else. If you're playing Kyurem, you're gonna struggle a little bit with Regis, you're gonna struggle with Lost Box decks, but that's why they play the double Empoleon to help with those situations. Then we have Giratina as well, which can do really well. It just can get a little awkward in the beginning if you start Giratina or something. If you don't get the really nice comfy into Colress, it can get a little awkward, but it has the versatility of the big attack with Giratina, the short attack with Giratina V, and you can attack with Radiant Greninja, you can attack with Snorlax, you can attack with Sableye, and you can attack with Cramorant, so it has a lot of flexibility. And then you have Lost Box, which is a lot of damage counters really quickly, single price deck, and Radiant Charizard for the late game to deal big damage to anything that is pictured below that contains a rule box and is worth more than one price card. So those decks are really, really good. I'm going to leave the deck list of the top decks of the tier 1 decks after I'm done talking. Yeah, you'll see the 4 lists that have been doing well, have been my personal preference playing with them in the lead up to Salt Lake City, either using them or testing against them as benchmarks for results. And yeah, I'd love to hear your opinion on if you agree with tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. I feel like tier 1 is not as debatable as tier 2 and tier 3. Some people will be very passionate about Duraludon or Dialga or Flying Pikachu, right, or Arceus decks. I feel like Vigavolt and Calyrex are less debatable. Blissey is the big question mark for me, if you will, because it's been doing really well online, but also didn't place at all at Peoria. So will it be able to place at Salt Lake City? If quite simply it ends up getting played more, then it will. If it doesn't, then it won't, right? So we'll see. Yeah, looking forward to Salt Lake City. I get there on Friday. Hope to see a ton of you there. And yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Enjoy that video, enjoy the lists, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.